Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing the full and final part on the Volkswagen Beetle. We're going to be stripping out those rear window regulators. That's going to entail removing the back seats, removing the quarter inside panels, stripping them out. We've got a repair kit for them. We're going to do our best to get them back exactly how they should be, in perfect working order, get it all built back up, take the car down, have it all, first we're going to do a machine polish, get all the scratches and marks out of it, go around, do all the little touch-ups on it that we previously mentioned we was going to do with some paint and a cotton bud. Quite a lot of you said, Rob, also use a toothpick. I've done that in the past, but some of these chips are quite big, so you do need to get the cotton bud in there. After that, we're going to be taking it down and having a proper valet done on the seats and the carpet. We're going to have them shampooed, and then I'll have to bring it in here and leave it in here for a couple of days with the roof down and the windows open and let it air out and dry out properly. Then this car will be advertised on Instagram for sale. So let's stop waffling on, get that roof down and get involved, get them stripped out and see what we've got. So guys, it is the next day and I'm actually working at home today on the car, and we're back onto this window regulator, and as you would have seen there in that time lapse, it was all very tricky and so much stuff really does have to come out. And once you get that window trim out, I had to remove this panel here, and it's actually like 2 10mm here. You've got another 2 little Allen keys up here, another 10 here, one in there, and then one at the back. And once that does slide out, that does kind of show you that there's quite a lot of room in there. There's a lot more room to work. And all I had to do was pull the window up level with these holes and undo the 3 10mm that are on the bottom of that glass there, and then the glass slid out absolutely no problem. And then you had a 13 here, and one just in here, and that whole regulator slid out. So we're now going to be going into the house. I've got the repair kits here, and we're going to try and repair this window regulator. But when I looked down inside the quarter panel there, I did just find this, which is the end of a cable. So obviously that's snapped, and as you can see, it is all chewed up there. So fingers crossed we can fix that, because we know they are £100 for a second-hand unit. I'd really like to try and refurbish this one and reuse it. Let's get in the kitchen and get it on the worktop and have a go at repairing it. Guys, obviously I couldn't show too much because I haven't got the tripod here, but I have actually done it. It's taken over an hour. It was really complicated. And obviously this is the other broken cable, and it wasn't until I looked in the actual kit. It does come with 2 cables, and I initially thought that this had snapped off, but I'll explain where that does come from. But when I did undo the motor, I mean, this mass was all chewed up. This cog's all chewed up. So there was quite a lot of cleaning up to do behind the motor. But just to get a rough idea of it, like what you do actually have to do. So this cog here is actually inside. I am going to try and show it a bit more in the next video when I'm doing the other side. This was complicated for me. I've not done one of these before. It was quite difficult, but it should be a lot easier, obviously, when we're doing the other side. But just to get a gist of it, you undo this motor and this goes underneath. And as you can see, it's got like a slot in the top for the top cable, and it's got a slot in the bottom, but it is all chewed up. And what you have to do is put the little one around that first with no turns on there, so it literally just lays in, and then it has to sit underneath this top cable, and it actually joins with this little joining block here. And I did get a bit confused because although both of these bags say one's for the left window, one's for the right, we have ended up with this, and I thought, well, there shouldn't be any spares left over, but I've checked it over and there was only one on this unit. And although it says left and right on those window regulators, which is a real bummer because I'm going to show you the listing, I paid £8 for one and £16 for the other one, but they're both identical. And what this little spare piece is, if you look there, the kits are universal. They're for left or right side, and the only thing that's different is this little piece here. So that is very, very disappointing that they charge two different prices for two different packages, yet they're identical and both come with two fittings, one for the left side, one for the right. I'll just show you on this bag. Sorry, I'm gonna have to clean up before my missus gets in as well. So this one here, repair kit, left side, 2002 to 2010. But if you look in the package, exactly the same. We've got one for the left window, one for the right. It does come with a new spool. Obviously that's the old one, and I have fitted that in there. And it comes with these two new little runners as well, and the two springs. But that is quite bad really, that they done that. And I kind of hope that if anyone else needs to buy a pair of these kits, they can now go on there and buy the two £8 ones and know that they're gonna fit, because you've definitely, you can see, this one's got the little notch at the top there, and this is the open end of it where the cables goes in. Sorry guys, getting caught up in the wire there. And this one here, obviously, you can see those notches, they're in the same place, but when you turn it over, the cables are that side, so it wouldn't actually fit. So yeah, that's there's something going on there on the old eBay listing. I'll have to give them an email and ask them what's going on, but it was quite complicated. You got this little thing that slots in here, which was easy. It was easy to put it around the wheel. You go up around this wire. There's a little bit of a guide here, but it doesn't really touch it. It just literally rubs over the top of it. And then this is the hardest part when you actually come to connect it up. But I did do a little bit of a cheat. I connected it up. I held my finger in there on the spool, and I kind of worked the motor on one tooth back, clipped it in there, and then twisted it to where it needed to go, and then I spun it over and put the 3 screws back in, which you can't see because it's wound up. Let me see if I can, no, I'm not going to be able to manually push that down now, but you can see the 2 screws are in there and there's another 2 just on the top. So let's get this back in the car, get it all plumbed up. I do need to quickly whip out and get some little baby cable ties, because this was cable tied to there, and when I did just test it in the car, you can see this flapping around, and we don't want that. So let's go and grab some cable ties and we get this fitted back in the car. I was just looking guys, and obviously once this is slotted in, I can get to this little cable tie after in the panel, and we have got the other side to do. So I'm not going to whip off now and get the cable ties. I'm going to get this all fitted and go get them last, and then put all the interior panels back together right at the end of the day. But once I've got this bolted in, I'll plug it in and do a bit of a demo on it. So I've got that back in there now, and I've got one nut on the glass, and you've got another one there and another one there. And to get to that bolt, can you see it's right up in there? Now quite a lot of you will already know this, but for those of you that don't, I do want to give you a little tip. That is the nut, and that getting it through both of them sections of metal there, well there's actually 3, 1, 2, 3, and then getting it on that glass is really awkward. So quite a lot of you would have done this already, but for those of you that haven't, a little bit of tissue paper in the end of the socket there, and then when you put the nut in, it's actually very, very tight and it won't fall out. So you can go straight through the holes, not have to worry, get that straight on, and as soon as you pull it out, let's just do a bit of a demo on it. That's all done up. I'm not going to nip it up just yet, but when you take it off, your tissue either stays on there or it stays on the bolt, and you can pull it off. So that is a very, very handy little tip, and you wouldn't believe how many times when repairing a car I do actually have to use that. So there's quite a lot of movement and adjustment on them. So what I do is come out and just check that that is sitting nice in that seal, and that gap right down there is quite equal. And then from the inside, that's all nice round there, and it is all nicely seated in its rubber. So I can now, I've placed that by hand, got that where I need to go. I'm going to nip them nuts up, and then we'll put the roof down and make sure that that window does work. So that seems to be absolutely spot on there, guys, that window. And that's exactly what we wanted. Let's get this all bolted back together and make a start on the other side. So I didn't bother showing that second part on camera, but I will just put the roof down, and then we'll do a full closure on the windows, open and shut. So that's the windows all up, and now they're all absolutely perfect, and obviously they all do work singly as well. Very, very difficult to do that first one, but the second one was, to be honest, it was an absolute doddle. Once I'd done one, it's pretty much, I'd feel comfortable doing, you know, as many as I needed to do now, but that was my first time on those windows. Next step, let's go and get it all cleaned up and make it look absolutely mint. I was going to give this a machine polish, but I'm still not sure about it. I might just have it valeted, do the little touch-ups on it. It is a 55 reg car. It's going to have some age-related marks. One good thing that did happen while I was in the back there, moving around, moving all the stuff, I did find, there it is there on the seat. I kept going on about that being missing, guys. Look what I found under the seats. That's brilliant, that is, because I was meant to order one and I didn't. Let's go and get it cleaned. Well, there's only a couple of cars in front of me, guys, and because the weather's been quite poor, there's not actually anybody having a full valet done. So with a bit of luck, if it don't take too long and they can get me straight in for the seat shampoo and the carpets, I'll actually try and film a little bit of that and hang around. Guys, it's completely done now. I know I said that I was going to give it a machine polish, but I have decided against it. All it's going to do is highlight more marks, I believe, because it is a black car and it is 2005. It's done 90,000 miles. One of the last jobs I had to do was this wing mirror glass, and unfortunately I actually ordered this off of eBay, and as you can see, it's the wrong wing mirror glass. It's for the same year, but it's for the car that hasn't got these mirrors on it. So I've actually just ordered one of those from Volkswagen, and it's going to be here in the morning. So that will be this car completely done. I've just had the seat shampooed. I will stick that little bit in the video as well. I've left the fuel cap open there, but as you can see now, they're all very clean. There's a bit of dust there from that, but they're all very clean. They've been washed. I need to start the car up, get the heater on and get it all completely dried out. I know I also mentioned I was going to do all these stone chips on camera, but I do want to get this video out there, so I will be showing that side of things in a later video. We'll get a car in, one of these £200 car challenges, and we'll go around and do all these little jobs on it, but it is literally these few little chips, and I hope you don't mind. I am going to skip that bit out of this video, guys. So that is going to be the last video on this car and everything you're going to see. I'm going to move in now, grab my piece of paper, and we're going to go through the numbers of what it costs to do, what it costs to get everything done, and how much profit we're going to earn out of this little car. So guys, the most important part of all four of the videos, and I know it's the part that you all enjoy the most, and that is the numbers. I've got it written down here, sorry, so I won't be looking forward. Right, the little Beetle, the car, we give £200 for it in part exchange, which I always say you get your profit when you buy a car, and that was pretty cheap for the car, but it did have quite a lot of problems that not everybody would be able to do, i.e. the welding, etc. And to be honest, that man's daughter bought this car for herself off of somebody. He didn't know anything about it, and as soon as he saw the car, he refused to let her drive it because he just didn't feel that it was safe. So that's why he wanted to get rid of it, and he wanted to buy that 2014 Fiat 500 from me. So the car, we give £200 for it. The tyres, as you know, the tyres didn't cost us anything because they come off the BMW. But when I was MOTing it, I did have to buy a part worn tyre for £10, and they fitted it for free. The mirror glass that I ordered off of eBay, I showed you earlier, that was £6. But it doesn't fit, and I'm not going to send that back to the guy and ask for a refund. It's kind of half my fault because I should have looked at it better and he should have advertised it better. The paint shop was £150. The track rod ends and the tyre rod ends were £42. The tracking was £30. The MOT was £40. The welding, again, didn't cost us anything. The window regulators were £20, and about 6 hours of my life on Sunday. They was a nightmare to do. Well, the first one was. The second one was, obviously I knew what I was doing, so it was easy. The valet that we just had done, I had the seats washed. That was £35, and obviously they'd done all the outside as well. But if you remember in a previous video, because I was using the car and it was quite mucky, I had just like a mini valet done, which was £15. And that was everything that we spent on the car. I've added up the hours, I've kept track of them because I know you all like to know that as well. And I spent 25 working hours working on the car. So the total price for everything, all completely finished, was £563. And somebody reached out to me on Instagram and actually said that they wanted the car, and I've sold the car for £1,250. So we've ended up with a pre-tax profit of £687, which I think is really, really good for the little car. And that's a good profit for us to have on the car. It was a nice, easy little job to do. I've been using the car to head to and fro the yard and back home, and I believe I've done about 500 miles in the car. I've used it quite a few times and been on some journeys on it, and it's really, really good on fuel because it is only a little 1.6 engine. So overall, really happy with that, and I've got no complaints at all. So that is going to be the end of today's video and the end of the Volkswagen Beetle. I'm not going to be putting it out for sale because that person reached out to me on Instagram and they want it for that price. So that's going to be the end of it. I just want to thank you all for watching all the videos, all your comments. I really do enjoy them, and everybody's really enjoyed this little series on the Beetle. We're going to get back on the Land Rover now, and back on the LSE, and back onto the other projects. So I hope that you'll be following us on those. Guys, quite a lot of you now have purchased some merchandise. A lot of you have reached out to me on Instagram and sent me your pictures, etc. And that's really, really nice, and we really do appreciate it, and it helps the channel progress and helps it grow and sponsor these builds. So we really do appreciate that. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. That also really helps us out. And join the other people that have joined us. It really does mean a lot to us. We're growing very, very fast. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe and share, and we'll see you in the next one.